guys, we're doing eyeliner. Are you guys ready? I'm super excited. I feel like this is so requested. So without just talking too much, let's just get right in. My favorite liner, and one of my favorite liners to use and to always use, even when I first started doing liner, is my Inglot gel liner. I love the consistency. I love gel liners, and this is one of the darkest eyeliners I have ever used in my entire beauty influencer career, for real. This one right here is the bomb. A thing I use with it is also from Inglot. This is the Inglot Duraline, and what this does is, say your eyeliner is getting a little dry, you would just drop 2 drops in here. Making sure we're getting this. There we go. I'll do 1 extra drop just because we're filming. And then I'll stir that around in that little area with my brush. Now there's all kinds of different brushes, lots of different tools. I mean, there's even liquid liner, but I feel most comfortable and I achieve the wing that I like using a little brush shaped like this. And what this is actually a lip brush from Elsie. So this is the Elsie L13, and they do have this brush. I have it right here. This is the Elsie E6. So this is their actual eyeliner brush, and it's very tiny, very, very tiny. But I just feel that the way this one tapers to a point is so good for like a 50s vibe cat eye. So you find, it's all trial and error. It really and truly is. Find you a brush you're very comfortable with. I also love the way this one is shaped and how it fits in my hand. So we can talk and we can talk and we can talk, but let's just get right into it. I'm going to stir this around and get this a little reanimated. Very carefully stir it around. I'm gonna wipe off any excess. I actually have a little wipey over here. I'm gonna wipe off any excess. And I'm gonna find a mirror somewhere in this. Boom. So what I like to do is I do find that I always look down into a mirror. I'm gonna turn to the side a little bit for you guys. All right, guys. So the first thing I like to do is I like to look down into a mirror. I'm kind of like tilting my head back and looking down. And I'll just kind of do a dot right here. And then from that dot, I look at it, I assess the situation, and I bring it out. Just like that. Now we're not going to be like all worried about this being perfect under here right now. We can come back and deal with that in a minute, and we're also going to clean that with concealer. So you have to remember, you have damage control to rely on. Damage control is there. So now I think, how big do I want this wing? Well, this is like a 60s vibe. So I go, you know, I want my wing to be pretty big. Now if I did want my wing to be big, I go closer to my lash line. But I want my wing to be about this thick. See that? Okay, so now I'm going to drag from the top of that over to here. And connect. And exhale. So from that, I look and I go, okay, is it really smooth up here? Are we good? And if you notice, I'm using small brush strokes, very small. Unless I'm following through an entire line, when I'm correcting, I'm doing this and pulling back, and pulling back, and pulling back. I'm always pulling back. And I also do not have a lot of product on my brush right now. That sometimes is where we go wrong. We'll have so much on it that it will transfer and mess up and just move around too much. But the less product you start with, the less movement you're gonna have in that, and that's gonna be so much better. Okay, I'm gonna go back in for some more eyeliner. Okay, so now we're gonna follow through and we're gonna finish the rest. Notice I'm keeping my eye open as well. And I also don't tug on my eye, because if I was to tug on my eye, I'd mess up my foundation for one thing. And when I place my eye back, the eyeliner isn't gonna be where we were originally doing it. So tugging on your eye might feel like it helps you, but it really doesn't. Okay, so now I'm gonna just start again. I'm starting low. And I'm going to, there we go. Don't worry about that. We're gonna come back And I will shut my eye real fast. What I'm doing when I'm going close to my lash line is getting all that excess product off my brush and putting it here where we need to fill in. And then I'll just correct this. Now I'm dragging into my lash line again. I'll open my eye up very wide and I will get this extremely close to my lash line. Now I am going to use an eyeliner pen as well, but I'm going to show you just to perfect with that. That doesn't even darken, that just has a little bit different tip on it. Okay, so now that we have the initial done, I'm going to thicken it up through here because this is where my eye, I know we're really close, this is so nice. Let me get a clean brush so I don't mess this up. So now I have a little pointer. We're not even using him, we're using him to point because I already have so much black on the other one. So do you see where your eye separates? Right here? Well, we're taking this, but instead of going out here, I'm going like this and doing it up as a flick. So I see this is perfectly, exactly where we need it. Perfect, actually it's so perfect. So from that, I'm gonna bring and correct this upwards. So let's grab our other brush. I haven't added any more product because more product, remember, that can get messy. This is much easier to work with. And correct it. Fill in any gaps. Remember, we can get this extra sharp with concealer in just a minute. We're just correcting with our eyes closed, making sure this is all incredibly even. Sometimes I'll even tilt my head. I'm gonna wait for Ben to focus. I wanna make sure this is all in focus for you guys. Now see what I just did? I just touched right there, and if I had a whole lot of product on my brush, that would have messed me up. But I'm just moving around what is already on my eye. And nobody gets hurt. And we can still go to the event. And we don't have to call and cancel all of our plans because we've messed up our eyeliner. All right, so let me grab my other product. All right, guys, this is my Estee Lauder Little Black Liner. This is a double-ended liner. And I use this when I want to really perfect everything because it has such a fine tip. And it just makes everything look extremely polished. And it's kind of still just moving around the Inglot liner instead of adding more product. It's kind of just correcting with that. Can't breathe when I do this, hold on. There we go. So we're going to clean up under here. Make sure this is real catty. And now I'm just going to take it on the lash line really deep in between the lashes and all the way over here. I feel like this fits better here. Look at that. Whoo! Meow! Now that is a wing liner right there. I think I want to thicken it here some more. So I'm gonna look down into the mirror. Another thing is to just always be patient and gradually, I mean, there you go, perfect. Gradually build your liner. Now, here's where I would call this done. Now, I do find that when I wear white eyeshadow, sometimes it wants to bleed, but that's okay. We would just take our fingernail and push this down, and then we'll just put our white eyeshadow on top of it. And actually, I do an inner corner highlight, so it really hides that. But also, it's because I'm under these lights and my eyes water a little extra, and I'm nervous. Whew. So I'm just going to continue to make sure that our wing liner here is very deep. Deep, deep black. And there we go. There's our wing liner. Now I am going to do the other one for you guys because you guys always want to know how to match them. So let's do that. So this is the #1 thing I like to tell everybody that's trying to do their wing liner and they're trying to perfect it and they feel like they need to get both eyes super even. My face, and most people's face, is not completely symmetrical. No matter how hard I try, I still have 2 different eyebrows. I mean, they're sisters. They're not twins. They're sisters. Same thing with your eyes. Your eyes are completely, I feel like this eye is such a different shape than this eye. So if your wing is not just perfect, don't worry about it. Honestly, you cannot, we cannot be that perfectly symmetrical. We can try and help it, but at the end of the day, this wing is never going to be identical to what we're going to do here. That being said, we are going to mimic what we did here. We're still going to follow the same guidelines. And the more you go over these guidelines and the more you do this, I promise you will be winging it in no time. So let's go ahead and put on this eyeball. So for this eye, I'm going to look completely straight on. So I will say this is my better eye to draw my eyeliner. This one, he's a little tired sometimes. Same thing, get our dot, look at it, step back. Now I'm not going to talk as much while doing this because I've already explained it, but I am just going to do it for you guys. Pick up some more product. Now that we have the shape, we're just going to fill it in. And then we'll work on any mistakes. I sometimes don't go too wild with the brush in here because I feel like that's where the eyeliner pin comes back in a much easier. Wow, that's pretty even. And just continue to fill it in. I see we did a little mess up here. Honestly, that does not matter. We're about to clean that up with concealer. One of the reasons I did white eyeshadow is because that really shows mistakes and it's easier to see the liner for you guys. Because if I was to do obviously a dark eye, it would hide it. And even a shimmering lid would hide any imperfections. So remember that. White eyeshadow is going to show more imperfections. And if you're just starting out, I would recommend like doing just a champagne color on your lid. And that's really going to hide imperfections. White does not. I'm gonna look into my big mirror and I'm gonna go rose. Not bad. Not bad at all. Grabbing my Estee Lauder little black liner. And sometimes you can even pull it down with your fingernail and then correct. See, this eye didn't bleed because my eye's not watering over here. Now we're gonna look into this mirror and we're gonna go, hot dang, that's even. Woo! Y'all know what I deserve. Some coffee for that one. Actually, I've had a lot of coffee today and I'm not sure how I have such a steady hand. It's like the biggest wonder ever. All right, so now we're going to get our concealer. Okay guys, so now we're gonna clean up underneath our wing. I'm using my Kylie concealer in the shade Gypsum. You guys can use any concealer. And this is what I'm gonna do. That's it. That's all we're gonna put under there. I'm taking my ColourPop flat concealer brush. I don't even know what this is called. Honestly, you can use any concealer brush. So let's make sure we're all focused. We good, babe? Okay, so now we're just gonna clean up underneath here. And this makes a world of difference. So I'm dragging it downwards now. That way we don't have a complete line underneath our wing, because sometimes unblended concealer under there is going to look not so cute. I'm tapping it with my finger. And then I'll just grab some translucent powder in a second and set it, but I am going to grab my little blender. He's right here. This is one of the reasons I love my LT blender. I'm just gonna tap this in, and there's a little bit of leftover powder on my blender right now, so this should work in my favor. Normally I do my eyes before I do my foundation, but since I was filming a tutorial, so I usually don't even have this issue because it just blends right back in. But I always like to do my eyes first. All right, guys, this is the finished look. Get your cat eyes going on here. I feel like you guys have been asking me for this, and honestly, there's no exact formula. It's really learning your eye shape, practicing, and just doing it over and over again until you get really, really comfortable with it. But I hope the tools that I use and maybe some of the tricks that I use can help you guys just kind of click and just figure it out for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I love you guys so much. Make sure you thumbs up, please subscribe, and I'll see you in my next tutorial.